The mysterious disappearance and supernatural disappearance of Romulus, one of the founders of ancient Rome, who is reportedly the son of Ares. In other words, he's a demigod. In the year 753 BC, the twin brothers Romulus and Remus founded the city of Rome. After the murder of Remus, Romulus became the first governor of the city and reigned for 39 years. The identity of these two brothers is historical and legendary. According to legend, both were sons of Ares, the god of war. The disappearance of Romulus, the founder of Rome, mysteriously disappeared from the pages of history. On July 7th, 714 BC, he was in his temple to give instructions and disappeared without a trace. In his work Ab Urbe Condita, the view of the history of Rome from its foundation to the year 9 AD, the historian Titus Livius states, one day, inspecting his troops near the swamp of the Capra Palace, a storm broke out with deafening thunder. Romulus was surrounded by a dense cloud that hid him from the gaze of all present, and from that moment he was not ever seen again. Other chronicles describe the mysterious disappearance of Romulus. Some documents date the event as May 22nd, the day a solar eclipse took place. In many cases of unexplained disappearances, it's reported that they are accompanied by extreme meteorological or astronomical phenomena. This was the belief of Plutarch, who described it as follows. The air suddenly thickened and changed miraculously. The sunlight disappeared and everyone was overwhelmed by an amazing darkness, accompanied by deafening lightning and more lightning. Then the crowd disappeared and left, but the nobles gathered in a separate group. When the storm was over and the light returned, the inhabitants returned full of terror and asked where the king was gone, but it was impossible to find him. We're talking about Romulus. Was he done away with? Already at that time, there were rumors and speculations on the part of those who believed that he had been murdered. They claimed that the officers, tired of his leadership, murdered him and cut his body into pieces small enough to hide under their clothes. Can you imagine? And afterwards, when they left the place, they threw them away. But in truth, Romulus disappeared so quickly that in this short time it would not have been possible to do that to him and to hide him and the great amount of blood that would have fallen on the spot whenever it was impossible to conceal his murder. Romulus and the god Quirinus. Julio Proculo was the only one who managed to end the rumors of his murder. Taking an oath, he declared that he had chanced upon Romulus, who had reappeared in a different form. He said he had a nobler and more distinguished appearance than before, and wore armor that shone so brightly that it blinded him. He explained that Romulus was of divine origin. It was the will of the gods that he should be here among men for a while, and after he had founded the city, which became the most powerful and brilliant in the world, and had reached the highest peak of human greatness, there was his return to the heavens where he came from. No one ever saw him again, and the Romans worshipped him in the form of a god, Quirinus, from more than 1,000 years. What pre-Roman Italy was officially called? The peoples who inhabited the Italian peninsula before the rise of Rome were not genetically or linguistically related in any clear way. Some spoke Italian languages, others were descendants of Greek settlers who retained their Greek identity, while others belonged to their other Indo-European offshoots. Categorized by all these populations is difficult to impossible due to the lack of conclusive evidence. In early Roman history, the head of the statue was the rex, meaning king, who was elected by the patres, hence the ruling families, except Romulus, the city's founder, to rule the city. There are no surviving accounts of the selection criteria for the first four kings of Rome, although for the next 3 years in line, for the next three rulers in line of consanguineous succession through the mother's family was adopted. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.